Hello, lads and ladies, and welcome back. How we doing? Sunday the 16th of February. It's Valentine's Day weekend. We're only here because we're single. That's why me and Jake are here this weekend. Valentine's Day for a single man, very depressing. Saturday the 15th of February for Fleetwood, very depressing. For Lincoln, very depressing. We are going to bring our co-host in to the stream. How are we, mate? Hang on, I need to work out how to do this. Oh, whoa. There we are. How are we, mate? You're mute. You do this every time.
No. How am I? I'm not over it. But yeah, no, I'm okay, mate. I've had a productive Sunday to counter the miscarriage of justice that we saw yesterday. So I'm okay. Do you know what, Ben? And you've told me to do this for weeks, and I never listened to you. You just said, do you know what? Accept who you are and just move on, and everything in your life will be like so much easier. And like ever since I've just taken on the mantra that I'm just not caring. I don't care. We're mid-table and proud. We're like Ryanair and proud. Let's have it.
Yeah, absolutely. We have gone to blue tonight. Obsession with Birmingham has gone a little bit too far.
Yes.
Keep right on. Go on the Blues. We'll be coming to them later. There's 83 of you in the chat. If you could like, subscribe while you're here as well. There's 95 in the chat already. We're 2 minutes in. Come on. And we're a minute late.
Well, that must mean that we just have to have another 10-minute chat before we go on to the football, mate, because we don't want to talk about football. How was your trip to Bromley?
Oh my Lord. When I say it was long, I got up at 4 a.m. in the morning. I got an Uber. First one cancelled on me. Second one cancelled on me. Third one was late and it come to the wrong address. Got to the coach, luckily on time. Away day from horrificness. 7 hours on a coach there. We got there at 1 after setting off at 6. My coat split. My North Face was my favourite coat. Like at the bottoms, all feathers are coming out of it, and people are doing me, like chicken nuggets at me. Right? I'm like, what are they doing? I'm not, and I'm running because I'm late for the game. For the first time in years, I'm late because I'd had some food and some Pepsi Max in the Weatherspoons.
Pepsi Max.
Yeah, Pepsi Max.
Yeah, you're a liar.
It was Pepsi Max yesterday. It was, I promise you.
Did it have anything in it?
Pepsi Max, mate. Soda.
Soda.
No, I had a couple of pints just to settle my nerves because I was not working. I wasn't working, was I? I wasn't doing comms. So then when I realised about my car, I'm like, oh, for God's sake. And I'm like, I just had to bin it because I thought, I don't know what to do here. And then the game was horrific. Like, so bad. It was horrific. And I got back yesterday at 1 a.m. in the morning, 21-hour away day. And I got up this morning at 8 o'clock to run 17.5 miles. So my legs, I met Michael Van Gerwen today as well. So my weekend's been eventful.
Did he call you nippers?
No, he didn't. Let me know if you can see and hear me, because we've been going live performance. They could not be able to see and hear us. So if you could like,
we're getting comments. So people this way for me and you, Ben. People are here. Hello, Richard.
Well I'm still up there. Evening, yeah. Wrexham got a great result. Good win for Bolton. Got the Blues. Yeah. I'd like to know for the 109 in. Get commenting as well. Where are you watching from? Where are you watching from, and who do you support as well? So just let us know. And if it's the same for both hands, just put your clubs in.
Birmingham.
Birmingham,
Palmer. Birmingham TikTok. Yeah.
Is he here? Oh, those Birmingham on my TikToks. Yeah. So I have got. So normally, obviously, my notes. I've gone this season. I normally do pen and paper, but I thought I just want to type, on my phone. I normally do in the essays between 1,400 and 1,800 words. Today, 2,700 words. So there's a bit more prep in there.
Nothing could have prepared you for the game that you're about to talk about.
Yeah. Before I state this, I want to be fully acknowledged that I've got nothing against Lincoln City as a football club, and I don't want to be too judgmental. I just want to make that known because apparently someone came up to me the other day in my place of work and asked me what is my problem with Lincoln City.
Who
I
said
went,
that?
somebody, right? They said they're from Lincoln, but they've moved up. And I went, what do you mean? I went, I've not got a problem with Lincoln. It's him I've got I'm just joking, having a laugh with him. I went, if you find I want Lincoln City to do well in this league, I want Lincoln to finish between 7th and 20th every season, and that'll do me fine. Absolutely right. So they're doing me proud this year. Leyton Orient 3, Lincoln City 2. Sonny Perkins double and a Charlie Kellman goal, but 3 assists by Ethan Galbraith. And that's the first time he's assisted more than 1 in a game, in which was his 131st EFL appearance. Did you have that one? Anyway, Lincoln City in their first 15 games of the season were quite frankly really good. They had 25 points and they were 6th. Since then, they have picked up 14 points, one of the bottom 6 in the division, 3 wins in 18 games, which is a worry. After going 12 games unbeaten away from home, they have now only won 1 in 12. And yesterday was the first time that Richie Wellens won against the Imps after not beating them in their last 5 attempts. Lincoln City, again, have now lost 6 of their last 12, won 3 in those last 18 games, drawn 7, lost 8. Lincoln were on the periphery of the playoffs and were in the playoffs around Christmas. They are now 10 points off. They've got 2 losses and 2 draws, 12 points off the bottom half, and it's a local affair on Tuesday evening, the biggest derby in League One, also known as the El Mid-Table Crappy Cow.
Can we?
Can we? Lincoln City is a football club. I want you to do well.
Can we talk about Shane first?
2 minutes just ripping stats at you.
Look at the chat. Look at the chat.
Oh, I've not got the chat on. What's that? Shane, what a boy. What a boy. Thank you so much, Lincoln.
Thanks, Shane.
Thanks, Shane. Are you a Lincoln fan? Get in.
I think Shane is a Lincoln fan.
He is. Respect for that.
I think he is.
I genuinely like Lincoln, but that last minute, I love that. I genuinely...
Did you? Because I didn't. I felt that was a little... That last minute goal was a little bit of calm for what we did to Orient.
Did it hurt watching it listening to it on the radio?
I didn't listen to it on the radio.
What do you mean?
I didn't listen to it on the radio.
You went on holiday this weekend again?
Yes, I went to Dublin this weekend.
Did you?
Yeah, I flew back this morning.
Right, okay.
Where do I go? Because I could sound extremely salty. I will praise Leyton Orient. I thought they were good. I watched them on Tuesday in preparation for the game on Saturday, and they were outstanding against Mansfield. We came on here and we said that they were perfect for half an hour. They could then rest the better players, and they just, that last hour against Mansfield was a real sort of training exercise. Yesterday, Leyton Orient come up against a really tough test in Lincoln. They didn't have it all their own way. They scored at key moments. They went 2 goals up. Sonny Perkins, regardless of whether he's onside or if he's offside, scored, which happens. But I thought they were good. They moved the ball around really nicely. They had a couple of chances. Ethan Galbraith was the best player on the pitch. He controls the way they play. I actually have to give a lot of credit to Richie Wellens at 2-2 because he made 2 really attacking changes. He took off Brandon Cooper and he took somebody else off. I can't remember who else came off, but he brought on Dana J and he brought on he took out Abdullah off. He brought on Dana J and Jayasimi. And from that moment on, the momentum which we had gained in the period after we had gone 2-0 down to then was just all in Leyton Orient's favour. And to be honest, they maybe could have scored more than the 1. I felt, obviously, with my Lincoln City tinted glasses on, and Palmex has agreed there, I thought we deserved something from yesterday. I think we did enough. I thought we physically challenged Leyton Orient. I don't think they'd have had that big of a challenge, certainly on the run that they're on. Cheers, Ben. Tell you what, he's still below us, and we're a speed camera, so says it all.
Can I ask you a question?
Go for it.
Cambridge United have won 2 games in 19.
Oh, I know what you're about to ask me.
Lincoln
I know what
City
you're
have
about to
won
ask me.
3 and 18.
I know what you're about to ask
You
me.
messaged me that at 6 p.m. this evening.
I did.
Expand.
I'm concerned, Ben. I think with the squad that Michael's got, he should be winning more than 3 games in 19.
I agree with you. And people fascinate over budgets, right?
You've been speaking to Andy Pearson, you have.
No, they do.
You have, I know that.
He's a good guy, to be fair. A lot of Lincoln supporters on that app are very knowledgeable, and there's some that are ahead of the curve, I should say. And there's a lot of supporters on there that maybe were asking questions of Skubala in November, 3 months ago, and now maybe seem to be right. My biggest takeaway from my sources at Lincoln City, very inside sources, you can sense that there's a weird atmosphere around the dressing room where players are going out on loan and flourishing elsewhere. I just worry maybe man management skills. He might be a great coach. For me in League One, the biggest attribute you can have is man management. Yes, you need to be able to develop players, but for me, Lincoln City this 5 years ago would be an exceptional season. Unfortunately, the standards at Lincoln City have expanded. You're a progressive football club, that wants to grow year on year. If you had this season without that 16-game unbeaten run, would it be better? Yes, I think it would. But I think you're strengthening in the summer. You brought in a lot of gems, I thought. There's an attacking output yesterday. For me, I look at that side yesterday, and there's a good core there. I don't think it's a rip-up job. I think it's just ambition to go and get a real bit of quality now. You're not far away. And I just worry if you don't go and attack it in this next 12, 18 months, Lincoln City could slowly come down the pecking order, and maybe a few poor seasons like you had a few years. I just think that you're 2 or 3 away. Yeah, and it's simple as that. You are going to lose 2 or 3 big players in the summer.
3.
However, I don't think that is all negative. I look at Stockport County this year. They lost their best player. They've been a better side without him as a whole. And it's about who you bring in. And if I hear the words of my favourite lady ever, my Brendan, should be banned permanently. Right? I'm going to tell Brendan, right? Sue's baking is awful. Don't go near her. She'll be tempting you with cookies and brownies. They're not all there to be seen. And then, yeah.
Luckily,
not my Brendan.
How old were they? 25.
See again.
How old were they? 25.
Yeah, old.
Probably a bit too old for Lincoln to want to recruit. That's just the way we do it. Yeah, I agree, Ben. I think the fact that we might have money in the summer might help if we can sell Rotherham for the right price. Sean Rowan will go. You imagine the budget will go up each year like it does for every team. So I imagine we might see something interesting in the summer. I think we might spend a bit of cash. What else would I say? God, look, yesterday we deserved something. That's also true. We can't afford to sack him.
Hello, Andy Holt. Did you see Morgan's tweet this morning, by the way? Oh, no, you're not Leeds, are you?
No, I don't. No, that's Leeds.
I thought I'd get the joke.
Can I, just before, the game yesterday was very much role reversal from March of this year, where Leyton Orient came to us and we were on a run. And you say this so many times, Ben, when you are top of the league, everything drops for you, like the finest little minute details, like the linesman not flagging his flag for Sonny Perkins when he's offside, or the linesman flagging against Ben House when he's onside, or the cross from Ethan Galbraith in the 92nd minute, perfectly landing at the feet of Charlie Kelman. They go for you, and we had that last year, right? I'm more than happy to go swings and roundabouts. You get some, you don't get them the other time. I'm fine with that. When you're on a bad run, and you know this from last year, it just doesn't drop for you, and that's what we're finding at the moment.
That is exactly it. And I've said that about Ben House for about.
McGrandles made the mistake for the second goal. Ben House, I thought, was good yesterday. Actually, I thought Ben House was really good, and I think
about McGrandles, mate. You don't want to get into trouble.
Well, no. And Parmet's really great. On the run that Leyton Orient on, I think that would have been their toughest game, and
Can,
it says it all. We should have got a point, I think.
I think McGrandles is very similar to Matty Virtue in terms of what I said to Matty Virtue about Blackpool. I still think if Fleetwood got promoted to League One again in the next 2-3 years, not going to happen, I don't think, for a while. I think Matty Virtue would be a very good player for Fleetwood. I think where for Lincoln now, where he was good for Lincoln a few years ago, where they want to finish in the top 10, top 12, and finish immediately that point in front of Fleetwood, which I quite frankly, is pathetic that he's bothering turning up on the last. A bit
You
busy.
looked good in the shirt, though, Ben, didn't you?
Yeah, I did, mate. Yeah, I did. Won't be the last time I wear one, probably, even knowing you. I think that Matty Virtue is a good player, but I don't think he's good enough to progress. Conor McGrandles is the same. He's good enough for a bottom 8, a bottom 10 Lincoln side. You've got a lot of that in your side. You've got a mixture. You've got top-end League One quality. And I think that players like Ethan Arahan have been talked up and have been good, but in his head, he thinks he's so much better than Lincoln. I think that
I disagree with that.
I think that he thinks that. No, I don't think he's got an attitude that. I think he thinks that. Well, I'm the best player here. And you should have that aura. He'll be thinking these players next to me are not as good as me, and if I was in a better team, I'd thrive more. Because you will. When the world, you'll be thinking the same at Fleetwood.
If we had Arahan yesterday, I think we'd have won the game.
Yeah. I tell you what, 15 minutes on your section. There you are. Shrewsbury 2, Bolton 1. It would have been half an hour for you to won. Shrewsbury 2, Bolton 103. Since Ian Everett's departure, Bolton Wanderers have won 4 of their 5 league games, losing 1. That's as many points in their final 12 games under Ian Everett, where they managed to win 3, draw 3. There you are. Before this, an improving Shrewsbury side, Shrewsbury Town had won 3 of their last 4 home matches at home. They drew the other one. That's as many as they had in their previous 20 games combined, where they only won 3 and drew 3 and lost the other 14. Shrewsbury were actually looking for 3 consecutive home wins for the first time since August 2023. And Shrewsbury have only won 1 in 15 against the Whites. And Bolton, 6 out of 7 away at, what is it, the Crown Meadow? Or
Crown Meadow.
What?
The
Crown Meadow. They keep changing it, don't they? A superb victory for Stephen Schumacher's side, who labelled it as the first 30 minutes as rubbish. Not good enough. Bolton Wanderers now in fine form, winning 4 of their last 5 matches. Are just outside the playoffs on goal difference, played a game more. They've won half their football matches. They've now scored 50 goals, got 50 points. With 15 games to go, there's a real sense of belief in that side. I said at the start of the month, it was a quite quiet month for Bolton, where Schumacher can get his ideas over with a week in training. You know, from previous managers in this division, a good week in training can do. Learning on those non-negotiables. And then in March, we'll decide Bolton's season, because they quite frankly play 7 games of football. Wrexham, Birmingham, they play bottom fodder, side that's struggling down there. Burton Albion, Bristol Rovers, who I think will be pretty much a few points away from safety when they play them in a couple of weeks. And then they've got Stockport, Rotherham and Blackpool, a side that they've had tough battles with, especially at Bloomfield Road. A great victory. I tell you what, though, what I loved most, Shrewsbury's first goal, cross into the box, shot, blocked, scramble into the goal. I laughed to myself. I went, Gareth Ainsworth goal, that, innit?
Yeah, for Dane Oliver getting on the score sheet. Ex-Lincoln. Go on, boy. It was a good win for Bolton. McAtee, and probably Sabi Sean, really, the highlight of any Bolton performance yesterday. I thought he was outstanding on the left-hand side. But McAtee getting involved, scoring some goals. I feel like he's sort of, this might sound harsh, but I don't think he's arrived in a Bolton shirt yet. I don't think Bolton fans have seen the best of John McAtee.
No.
And I think that's down mainly due to who they play him up front next. If you think about him last year, Ben, he was playing off Sam Cosgrove, where the ball was into Sam Cosgrove pretty quickly, and he was able to buzz around. Whereas I don't see a focal point in this Bolton team. And obviously now Kiana Tete, who was signed on loan to be that prime Drogba-esque player, isn't fit, and therefore they haven't got that to go to. You've got Collins up front, who is not really. He's not going to win you a load of headers. And you've got McAtee, Randall, and Collins, all the same sort of style of player in there. But
I've said this all season to you.
Yeah, I know. I agree.
I said that I like when Collins, it was Dion Charles was there. I'm like, they just recruit the same player.
Yeah, they do.
Low
socks. But yeah, it was Sabichon really that stole the show yesterday. Outstanding ball in for McAtee's second goal. Really big win as well, I found, for Bolton. You know, to have been 1-0 down and to rally back and to go put yourself by 3-1 in front. Especially the everything they've gone through so far this year. Big month for Steven Schumacher, like you mentioned. Lots of winnable games, lots of big games for him to get his teeth stuck into. But you'd imagine, looking at that team on paper yesterday, Ben, you know, the players on the bench just include like a Dacres Cogley, who's played, I think he's played the most minutes for Bolton so far this year. You got Sean on the bench. Josh Sheehan was on the bench yesterday. Farino was unbelievable for Wycombe a couple of years ago. Nathan Baxter was somebody who was one of the better goalkeepers in the league last year, to be fair to say. And then you're talking about Osei Tutu, who's come in as well, and Victor Abiejo, who's maybe not had the best time at Bolton, but still a really strong bench. And that just shows you how good a squad this Bolton team are. And for me, Ben, and I've said this to you before, if Bolton can get going, that's one playoff spot locked down, because this Bolton team should at least be in the top. I think they should be in the top 4 squad on paper, and now they've got the managers to go with that.
Yeah, it'll feel like a free hit. Well, I say it all the time. I've got a bit about a broken record. And Shrewsbury, season won't be dictated on this. However, it's again conceding goals. They've got a tough matter of Huddersfield and Stevenage at home, both to come. If they can get 3 points out of that, I think it's a good period. March,
Me too.
Simply
against Stevenage, hopefully.
Yeah, 6 games in March. Peterborough away, dogfight. Sorry, my mum doesn't like me using that word. Relegation scrap, shall I say. Bristol Rovers come to their place on a Tuesday night. I'm always a bit, Tuesday night at home, Gareth Ainsworth ball, 3 days after a game, potentially there. Exeter away.
Big game.
Burton at home, Reading at home, potentially. And then they've got the easy matter of, again, another easy-ish game against a poor side in Birmingham City. Where
they won that one.
Yeah, mate, they could do I think they're the only team that can do the double over them now, because I think they played everybody.
It was Charlton, wasn't it?
Yeah. I tell you what, if anyone's going to beat them again, I think it could be Gareth Ainsworth Shrewsbury. Honestly, 1-0. Birmingham have 38 shots on goal. Shrewsbury have 2, 1 on target. John Marquis scores, and it's just like they have 11% of possession. And like, I could just see it now. But yeah, good game this, and Bolton Wanderers seem to be enjoyable to watch again as well, which is the nice thing. Barnsley 1, Huddersfield 2. Huddersfield win for the first time in 6 after losing 3 of their last 5. Drawing the other 2. And for the first time at Oakwell in 6, they've also won, losing 3, drawing 2. This was the biggest winless run in Sky Bet League One since 2000. Well, biggest win in Sky Bet League One ever, but the biggest winless run in League One, I think it was the Coca-Cola League One then, if you remember it, 2009. Huddersfield have won each of their last 3 games against Barnsley at home, that is. And that's for 3 games this season. They beat Barnsley this season now as well. Virtude Cup, League One. But Huddersfield's next 3 are sides into the bottom 7. However, Shrewsbury improving, Peterborough at home, it's a tougher game than a bottom 7 suggests, and Wigan away. Great victory, great comeback. Goals are very scrappy. Barnsley started off, good goal through Russell, good game for the neutral. And then Huddersfield just find a little bit of quality. It's a great ball in behind. Barnsley are high up the pitch trying to hunt down a second in the game. And it's a great ball, and a great running behind by Josh Karoma, who can do it, can get in behind and run the line really well. And a set piece, Ben Wiles, far hand side, puts a ball in with a bit of purpose, asks a question, low ball, corridor of uncertainty, and it just goes over between 7 or 8 men into the far corner, and the Barnsley goalkeeper, Gucci couldn't really do much.
Gauchi,
whatever he's called.
Gauchi.
Disability.
Barnsley signed Gucci on this year. Yeah,
So
this is
bad.
this,
It was a decent one because it just asked the question, but that
well,
was it.
I don't think you can blame the goalkeeper for that one. I think you blame the defenders because it's a really intelligent free kick from Ben Wild. It's like he's put it right in that spot where it's going in the far post, but like nobody dares touch it. Like you say there, the corridor of uncertainty where the goalkeeper can't come and get it because if he comes out and someone pokes it past him, he looks like an absolute prat. But yeah, this is massive for Huddersfield, given the league table to go away to Barnsley, a team that are just on the outside of that periphery for the playoff paces at the moment. To go away there and win, to come from behind was massive. That's 8 goals in the league now for Ben Wiles, which is particularly good because they've got the strikers now, but the first half of the season it felt like Ben Wiles' goals were often meaning points for Huddersfield. So for him to score again, last got an assist, which I'm a big fan of.
Oh, did you see the through ball? Did you see the through ball?
Yes, I did. Yeah, and
such a ping.
I have had, Ben, so many conversations with Huddersfield fans saying Sorensen's not good enough if we want to get promoted. That kid's good enough. That kid's good enough if you use him right. And Michael Duff should really is the manager that I think that could unlock Lars Sorensen to maybe even the next level. But
I don't agree. I think you get the best out of Lars Sorensen.
And then Michael Skibala.
Just get Sue to go. Cookies, shortbread.
Just stand down the other end of the pitch with a bit of rocky road and go, Come on, lass.
He'll run down the wing. He'll score goals in important games as well.
He does. Yeah, including wins from behind against teams that go on to be relegated. Is that why you said Ben House isn't good enough because he scored the other one?
Who?
Ben House.
Sorry, I don't remember games that were fixed.
Look, Ben, it was a really big win for.
We lost fair and square.
It was a really big win for Huddersfield.
Go on, the boy.
Considering what else happened. Wycombe dropping points, Stockport winning, Wrexham winning, Birmingham obviously winning. It was particularly big that they continued that and followed suit. 2 games, they've got to win both the games on Stockport to creep above them. But yeah, this Huddersfield team under Michael Duff, they are slowly but surely getting there now, Ben, I think.
I think it's an important victory. And I said on my TikTok recently, today, there's a team every season, and Peterborough were that team last year, if you remember rightly. And Barnsley were probably the season before, where Barnsley, to be fair, did have a go at the top 2 for probably about 3 or 4
2
weeks.
minutes.
No, they had a spell where they beat Portsmouth, they beat Plymouth, they beat Wednesday. They won they went on a ridiculous run, and they just slipped up. They were too many points behind to start with, and Wednesday picked up again in the end. To be fair, and obviously Plymouth and then Ipswich go up. I think that there's a team that every year that finish either 4th or 5th that are guaranteed guaranteed. When you think sometimes they're only 2 points above, but look cemented in the playoff spot, where you've got the top 2, 3rd are normally close to the top 2, and you think they're in the battle. You kind of don't think about them for playoffs, although they are nailed on. 6th normally get in late, 5th is sometimes that, but normally one of the spots are teams that are solid all year that will probably go win, draw, win, and then they might go lose, but then win back-to-back, and then lose, draw, win, lose, and then over the course of the season pick up 80 points. Stockport look to have done that recently as well. They are a little bit off that, but 5 points in front of Huddersfield. I think that is Huddersfield. There's nothing bad against him. It's been a settling in season. Duff is my only trouble with them is what you said about Charlton recently. When they lose, they tend to suffer the bounce back ability. 3 years ago when we did this show, do you remember Wigan? How their bounce back ability was unbelievable. How they'd lose a game and they'd go and win 2 in a row, 3 in a row, and sort and fix a problem. A bit like a plumber. Stops the leak coming and sorts it straight away, so there's no problems going on in the future. I think that's the only issue. Playoffs, can I see them winning it? I fancy Wrexham if it's cut football. But I think Wrexham could be in a different position at the end of the season if the season carries on, because they are the most settled in the playoffs as well. An absolute, as Tom would say, humdinger at Bloomfield Road. Blackpool have failed to win any of the last 5 home league games against the Stags in a game that Mansfield won 3-2, according to Jake.
3-1, I thought.
Can you, before I carry on, can you just expand to the 181 people that, bear in mind, on my notes, these are my notes here, all my notes for the games, right? And you come on and you go, Mansfield drew to me, and I'm like, yeah. This is how much prep he goes in. Just expand on it, please, mate.
Yeah, so obviously we play Mansfield on Tuesday, and we just recorded our podcast actually. Me and Matt Fenton, who's in the chat, we both thought that I saw the notification that the Mansfield had gone 3 goals to 1 up, and I just thought, oh God, Mansfield are going to bloody win. And then I just assumed at that point, because they were 3-1 up with 20 minutes to go, I thought, oh, well, they've won this then. But little did I know that Blackpool scored twice in 6 minutes and got an equaliser. So yeah, I didn't realise that. I didn't look at the scores. But I think when you concede in the manner in which we did in the last minute, I didn't really want anything to do with football yesterday night.
Yeah.
So I didn't check the scores. Not dealing with it. I'll look at it when I start to look at League One tomorrow. And because I've been so productive, I've just had in my mind that Mansfield have won, but they've drawn. So I'm excited, mate.
It was a game of good goals, to be fair. I like Sonny Carey's finish into the far corner from an angle.
Yeah,
Keanu Bacchus, who you labelled from St Mirren as, a fantastic footballer. He thought it was a great sign. He made
it with power. Great strike.
Great strike as well.
Yeah.
And then you've got, Bacchus getting an assist as well. And then Blackpool respond. Ashley Fletcher, we've given him stick, but I think he's actually starting to find a home at Blackpool. He scored 3 in his last 6. And Ennis as well has now scored in both, I think, in 2 and 3 home games, 2 and 4 overall. He's a player that I really like, energy as well. For Exeter, for Mansfield, it's a worry because they'd lost 6 in a row and they needed to kind of bounce back. A win, all of a sudden, he's a bit rosier on 40 points, level, with your local rival Lincoln as well. It's your 12th victory of the season. Blackpool have just drawn too many games. They've drawn 14 games this year. They've only lost 8. They've lost less than Leyton Orient, who are in the playoffs, lost as many as Huddersfield, who are in the playoffs, 1 more than Stockport, who are in the playoffs, 2 more than Wrexham, a 3rd. Wycombe and Birmingham, well, they've lost 6 more than Birmingham. Birmingham don't lose games of football, do they? No. If Fleetwood win League One, it would be 3, because we'd have beaten them at Highbury. We'd have done them at Highbury, don't worry about that.
Yeah, of course you would.
So we won't play the game because it doesn't need to be played. We just know it, yeah? Yeah. We're all in agreement. Again, don't lose 8 home games on the bounce that they've drawn, which is quite frankly frustrating. For me, very much like Lincoln, very much like Fleetwood in the sense of better against the footballing sides that come and play at you. They can counter-attack with pace. Because this Blackpool side, it doesn't lack pace.
No.
Rob Apter, Silvera, Carey, Ennis, Bloxham, Rob Apter,
Rob Apter twice. They got 2 Rob Apters.
Yeah, they got Rob. You got Rob. He's so good. I named him twice. It'd be like JJ.
Anne-Marie's not here. Anne-Marie's not here.
Not JJ McKieran, don't we? They lost.
Yeah.
That's when we know Parmex isn't here. They lose. No, they've got lots of pace, and again, it's about breaking a back door. Steve Bruce only lost 1 in 8 against the Mansfield boys. Came early in the season. Talk to me about this one.
Well, the rest
of Carey is slow, but he can find pockets. I mean, he's like Madison type.
Hot pizza pockets.
I tell you what, the amount of mixed grills he eats in Wetherspoons, he's not surprised he's not quick.
Yeah, they remind me a lot like Mark Kennedy's Lincoln, just with a bit of pace. Blackpool do. They're just draw. At this point, Blackpool fans, what you might as well do is the record of drawn games in League One is 21 or 22. I think it was set by Norwich. I remember in 22-23, we were trying to beat the record. So Blackpool obviously don't have anything to play for this season. what they might as well do is try and draw 8 games.
What
Or
is the
however
record?
many.
21.
Hey?
Who's got the record?
I think it's Norwich.
Charlton got 20 last year.
Norwich got 21 or 22 draws. I remember I Googled it because we were very How many did we get, Ben, in 22, 23? I think we got 20.
19. I think you got
19. So we were trying to do it ourselves, but we
so.
fell short, obviously, because I think it's because we beat Ipswich and Plymouth, which ruined our chances. But
20.
yeah, no, eh?
20.
Yeah, I think
114, drew 20, 62 points, 15 off the playoffs. Fleetwood got 58.
lol.
A
Anyway,
team for 58 points in League One.
The point is that the Blackpool should sack the season off because they're not going to finish in the playoffs and should make an attempt to beat the draw record. It was a good game. To come from 2 goals down with your strikers scoring. But yeah, I thought Mansfield were decent. Vickers, he's made a massive impact. Caelan Vickers on loan from Brighton at Mansfield. He's made a big impact since coming in. But yeah, no, a bit of a humdinger, but yeah, it was good character shown by Blackpool, like Jacob says there.
Wigan Athletic 0, Stockport County 2. The middle late show, shall we say. It wasn't quite the late show. After winning each of their first 8 Football League games against Stockport County between 1978 and 1982, Wigan have just won 1 of their last 8 games against the Hatters, drawing 3, losing the other 4. Wigan have only scored 27 goals in 29 home matches this year. They've been flat, boring, no X factor, no real spark, and they have got players in there now that you think, well, they can get you off your seats. They can win games of football regularly. They can be consistent. But for me, it's just this year has been probably very unenjoyable. They had 37% of the play yesterday. I just look at that and think, but again, Johnny Smith, Taylor, they've got Ronan Darcy on the bench, Goodwin on the bench. Owen Dale came on for half an hour. They've got players in there that should be doing so much better than they're doing. And I don't know. I think that the motto is to try and be hard to play against, frustrating to play against. And they are that, but they're hard to watch. And this style of football that is being played has to win games of football. It's as simple as that. And Wigan aren't in a relegation battle, and I know what Wigan have been through has been awful, and they're just rebuilding as a football club, but they've lost nearly half the games. They have only conceded 30, but they've only conceded 27. Reminds me very much of when Fleetwood had Scott Brown. It was so boring to watch. We got points in the last minutes. I was came away thinking, everyone thinking he's going to think he's a god, but he's not. And I get the importance of it is having a football club, and they're only 4 points off 14, which doesn't look too bad. They're only 9 points off the top 10. It's not all bad, but that many goals. You've seen 57 goals in 29 games. It's a bit flat, and it's up and down. They're like a trampoline a little bit as well. Stockport County, though, we'll come to them in a minute, but a little bit on Wigan Athletic, Jake.
Yeah, they're similar to us, I think. They're at a bit of a cross juncture with the manager at the moment, with Sean Maloney, worried about the style of play, whether it's sustainable going forward. At home, performances from Wigan have been extremely dull. I don't think the home fans have had anything to get up for, and yesterday was another example of that. But you look at the team, the squad, Ben, that Sean Maloney's sort of built over the last 3 windows or so. It's a decent squad. They've been able to keep a hold of Sam Tickle. Still got Carragher, Kerr, Ameson. We're keeping loads of clean sheets earlier in the year. Scott Smith, Babradiko, Johnny Smith as well. Jensen Weir, an academy prospect. But even the likes of Dale Taylor, Ronan Darcy that's come in, Owen Dale, Hungbo, they've got a decent squad, Ben, and they probably should be doing better than what they are. I think they have the quality in there. Obviously, I think what Stockport have struggled with is they've taken the main creative spark out of the team. Jensen Weir is more of a box-to-box midfielder, whereas Tello Asgard is your traditional number 10 that likes to get in the end of crosses and create. Whereas Jensen Weir perhaps isn't the same type of midfielder. I feel like they're really lacking that number 10, which is where Ronan Darcy obviously has come in, but he's found minutes hard to to find since coming into the club. Wigan as well, their style of play, Ben, it's very reliant on the wide players. Like, so reliant on the wide players. You've got Smith and Asamoah who started. Obviously, you'll know Malise Asamoah from his time at Fleetwood.
He's not good enough. Tell you
But
that now.
they've also got players like, Hungbo. Silko Thomas was probably one of their better wide attacking players, but he went off injured against us a couple of weeks ago. Ola Kigbe went back and went to Chesterfield. So, yeah, the wide players, I think once you know what these wide players are going to do, they become very easy to stop. I thought Stockport did that really well. Like with Asamoah, Ben, it's clear that he's going to try and knock it past the defender and just try and blitz past him.
So predictable.
Whereas with Johnny Smith...
He's liked at Fleetwood because he came on at Peterborough at home and had a shot. That is it. He turned him and had a decent shot.
Yeah, whilst Johnny Smith, if you take Johnny Smith off his left foot...
Yeah, cut inside, top corner.
You stop Johnny Smith, don't you? And therefore you stop Wigan. And without that unpredictable nature of Tello Asgard, all of a sudden you've got no creativity, and there's no wonder they're starting to lack to score goals. And Dale Taylor is a very good player, Ben, who could probably play for a lot of teams higher up in the league than Wigan. He's just been starved for service, and I feel for him. So yeah, I don't know where Wigan are at. They're at a junction with Maloney. I don't know if they'll get rid of him. I don't think they will. I think his cult hero status as a player will buy him at least the summer transfer window. But if Wigan don't start next season off well, Ben, do not be surprised if Sean Maloney is given the boot.
They haven't progressed either, which I think is the biggest worry. Right. Stockport County haven't lost any of their last 11 EFL League matches against Greater Manchester sides. I hope Bolton's not including that because it is Lancashire. 7 wins, 4 draws. I got a lot of comments on that the other day. So thank you for everybody that agrees with me. Since a 1-0 defeat to Oldham back in 2010 March as well. I'd have been 8 years old. You'd have been, what, 14? No, 12?
When? What year?
2010. No, 12.
2012, I'd have been 14.
2010.
I'd have been 12 then.
Yeah, 12 years old. Bloody hell. Stockport kind of won 6 of the last 7, taking 19 points in this run. That's as many. Well, sorry, that is 1 more than their previous 13 games before that, where they won 5, drew 3, lost 5. No Louis Barry, no problem for Stockport County. What they've done is they've gone a little bit more direct, and Alafe and Wotton up there, I think, are working together a lot better now. They seem to be starting to create a bit of a partnership and doing really well. You've got Will Collar just in behind at Stockport, slowly coming into his own. I think he's been brilliant. Moxon is coming on a long-term deal, and in the heart of the midfield with Nord, he's been excellent. He got a couple of assists. I think it was away against Reading, wasn't it? They've got good width in Budsora, who's an experienced player in League Two and made the step up. Do I think he can go and play in the Champions? I'm not quite sure. Jack Diamond's getting his career back on track, no distraction. And, you're slowly seeing the best of him that we saw for 2 or 3 months at Lincoln City. I remember the Bristol Rovers away game where he was fantastic.
Remember that, Ben?
6-3, was it? Yeah. The back line of Callum Connolly, who for me is a bit of a Northwest stalwart. Wigan, I think he's been at Bolton, Blackpool, Fleetwood, Stockport, and then you've got Lincoln City as well. Pye on the other side, Hinchcliffe has come in goal, for Corey Dye earlier this year as well. And then you've got players like Lewis Bay, Callum Camps. Again, it's a good squad, and you're seeing the personalities mixing now, and you're seeing a real togetherness. Alafi scored 20 goals last year. He's a good striker. Wotton doesn't often get goals, but offers you a hold-up, offers you a get-out clause. And those front two are working well. They used to put Louis Barry into the side, I felt. They fitted. It was, how can we get the best out of Louis Barry to win us games of football? Now it's, hang on, we've got a really good squad. Yes, we've lost our gem, but let's use our soldiers and let's use our, generals in there as well. And they are resolute, hard to beat, and they've lost 1 game. Lost 2 games since he's left the football club, Louis Barry, and everyone said they'll fade away. They'll do this. They're proving everybody wrong. Dave Challenger's never finished outside in a playoff, being a manager in a full season. They had a wobble, don't get me wrong, where we thought, they didn't start well, and they won the first 3 games after that. It was a bit of a struggle for them. They've won 16 games. That's half the game. They scored 49 goals. He's got 57 points, and Huddersfield haven't been in great form. Them and Leyton Orient at time in great runs as well. In the last 6, they're matching Birmingham City. They're getting again, in the last 6, Wycombe have only won 2 in the last 6. Wrexham have only won 3. They've won 5. They're 3 points behind Wycombe. Yes, they played more games, so probably it'll earn out maybe 6 points, 7 points. They're there to be shown. And yeah, it's a good football club, good side to go away. Great support yesterday as well. Cambridge on Saturday, Blackpool, Northampton, Charlton to come. Some tough games in there. The Cambridge game's heightened, but I really like this Stockport side. I watched them plenty of times in League Two a couple of years ago. I watched them in League Two in a playoff against Salford, both legs, and how, again, they brought fresh, exciting players into the football club in this window. I thought the window was one of the best in the summer, and then in January they've gone again. Great football they play. It suits them. The fans love it. And yeah, what a journey they've been on. I was there at Filed in, I think, 2019 watching them. And they won in the last minute. And I remember saying they're one of the best fans I've ever seen away from home. There was about 1,400 of them and they were outstanding. And it's so good to see how that football club has progressed.
Yeah, I agree. They've certainly come a long way in a short span of time, Ben. And whilst the goals were late yesterday, make no mistake, Stockport should have been in front before they scored through Lewis Bate. They're on a really good journey, and they're riding something, Ben, that so many teams have done before. Momentum. I mean, you would have seen it at Fleetwood, watching them raise through the leagues as quickly as you did. Don't know if you were supporting Fleetwood then, but I've watched Lincoln do something similar. You're talking about Wrexham flying through the leagues as well. It's not quite the fairy tale. Obviously, they are heavily. They've got a lot of investment in there, but they've spent the money well. And that's where you'd say Stockport are incredibly clever with their recruitment. You look at the players that they've brought in over the last 2 or 3 windows. They've all been outstanding, and they're just a very good football team. You look at the bench yesterday, Ben Corey Adai, who was one of the top keepers in the league below. That seems like that experiment's probably going to come to an end in the summer. I imagine he's probably going to leave. But Brecky Anderson, who they recruited on data, Lewis Bate, who's the captain, Callum Camps has done it at this league for Fleetwood before. Sam Cosgrove, we know, can score goals. Micah Hamilton and Brad Hill. Was like, that's an unbelievably strong squad. And I think I said it to you after we played them in October. I think they were one of the best teams that we've played so far. Genuinely. They're outstanding. In possession, out of possession, pace, power, clinicality. They know how to keep the ball out the other end with Hinchcliffe. I think he's now kept 150 clean sheets for Stockport now. I think yesterday was his 150th clean sheet for Stockport. Yeah, they're a fantastic, well-organised unit. And, I spoke earlier about Bolton Wanderers being a shoo-in for the playoffs. For me, Ben, these guys round out your top 6. They are well-oiled. I think they're, and I think in the playoffs, Ben, I think they could blow anyone out of the water. I think they're that good.
There's 192 people still watching us, and we've got, I think, 98 likes. So if you could like and subscribe, we are also subscriber update. We are 63 away from 16,500.
Come on.
Half of you are probably subscribed. So we do this show every week, sometimes twice a week if there's midweek games as well. If you could subscribe, that'd be greatly appreciated. Like the video as well. It does go a long way. Great words on the county there from Jake. Wrexham also put pressure on their rivals, Wycombe and Stockport County, by winning away at Northampton. And Wrexham manager Phil Parkinson has won all 9 of his Football League meetings with the Cobblers, beating them with Colchester once, Bradford 4 times, Bolton twice, and Wrexham twice. A great victory for Wrexham away from home. They needed it, and they're slowly just clicking into gear. Back-to-back victories as well after not winning in 3. 17th victory of the season, up to 58 points, making the gap, halving the gap on Wycombe Wanderers after Wycombe failed to beat Crawley away from home. Mm-hmm. Sam Smith proved that he wasn't the only one getting the goals at Reading.
Stop doing that. You do it every week.
He can go to Wrexham and get a victory as well. Again, sometimes strikers can be too good at goodbyes and not do well at the new clubs and get a goal, but it's a great finish as well. Ollie Rathbone, again, is a player that I've liked for many years since he spelled at Rochdale. Good victory for them. Mark Howard with an assist as well, which I loved as well. Well-oiled team of Wrexham. You're going to get a bank of 5. Barnett, McLean, back 3 of Cleworth. O'Connell, Brunt was in yesterday. I think Dobson's been the engine room. And then Matty James has come in, a bit of experience. Rathbone's box to box. Rodriguez is yet to blow me away. I wasn't sure on that signing, if I'm honest with you. I thought Sam Smith was the exceptional signing, and was mentioned before, Reading had to sell to pay the bills. Again, a good victory for them. Clean sheet. Northampton frustrating. They were limited to 5 shots, 0 on target, but that just credit to how good Wrexham were defensively yesterday, and they made it kind of tough to play, and a really good support behind the goal as well from Wrexham as well.
Do you see what you've started here, Ben? Do you
What?
see what you've started? Look at Luke's comment.
Great comment, mate. I've already used that one though, to be fair.
You were the only one, Ben, that put Sam Smith in their fantasy team, from what I can remember this weekend, and he scored.
Yeah, always do that, mate.
Yeah, you do, don't you? Yeah. A 3-minute spell really that took the game away from Northampton. This was one of the early kickoffs. I didn't watch this one. I watched Exeter versus Cambridge, but yeah, steady, convincing. Northampton, I'm slightly worried by, Ben. I don't know about you. I know they picked up recently, but yeah, they're getting dragged back in now, aren't they? If Crawley win the game in hand, they go just 2 points behind them. Yeah, Wrexham were good. Didn't have to be spectacular. Got the game won nice and early. They could then rotate and bring in their other players. Yeah, really strong from Wrexham. Route 1, but it worked. Yeah, like Ian says there, that this style just, Phil Parkinson has found a way that I think that Wrexham playing this style of football stand a better chance. I always find when you go up a league, you're better off being not defensive, but structurally sound, and then focusing on that, building on that. And I think Wrexham, are set up to have success in the Championship because they know, that back unit is so strong, and I think they'll be able to keep a lot of teams out in the Championship. Yeah, I really like what they're doing, and it was a good win yesterday. Not really out of third gear. George Jobson in midfield was outstanding, but Sam Smith coming in and contributing goals. That bench, Ben, yesterday is a joke. Cannon, Fletcher, Longman, Marriott, Okonkwo, obviously, I think he had a bit of a knock. Dan Scarr and Seb Ravan, really, really good side that know what they are. And like you say, if they finish in the playoffs, which we're not overly sure that they will, they might well sneak top 2. You'd back them because they're just good at winning fine margin games of football over anybody. And certainly, if they can get that second leg at home, I'd back Wrexham to beat anybody in this league, probably bar Birmingham.
Paul Mullen wasn't anywhere to be seen yesterday. Parkinson came out after the game and thought he wanted to get the balance of the bench right. I think it was inevitable to see that Paul Mullen services there are kind of he's taking him as far as he can go. It's never nice to see him leave the football club like this, but you said at the start of the year, didn't you? And you were right. I like this comment a lot. Thank you very much. It means a lot, that. So if you could, everyone, get liking and subscribing. 195 people in the chat. Bristol Rovers 3, Burton 1. Bristol Rovers win 2 on the spin against Burton Albion for the first time in the EFL. This was the first win for the Gas in their last 5 against the Brewers after losing their last 2. Both ended 2-1. That time where Burton went to Bristol Rovers and Leyton Orient in the space of a week and won back-to-back games. First time in 7 that Burton Albion didn't win. And again, in the first 5 under Gary Bowyer, they lost 3, drew 2. Went 6 unbeaten, 3 wins, 3 draws. Won 3, drawn 5, lost 4 overall in the first 12. 14 points. It's lower mid-table. And unfortunately, they probably needed mid-table, bang on mid-table. They're probably 3 or 4 points short of where they need to be averagely PPG under Gary Bowyer. Not too far away. Again, they battled yesterday, but I think they just got picked off in midfield, if I'm honest with you. And it's as simple as that. And they're up the pitch and get back into the game. Again, the late show from Bristol Rovers, who they found a way midweek to rescue something, and they've done it again. And they're slowly building something, especially at the Mem. It used to be a horrible place to go to. Now it seems a bit hostile again. And again, Calderon's gone in there and he's got the crowd up. They beat Barnsley recently 3-1, which was a great victory for them. They got a point, beat Peterborough, pointing at Stockport, pointing at Burton. Unbeaten 4 at home, winning 3. The last 3 have been 3-1 as well. 3-1 victory over Barnsley as well. Good way to win 3-1. It's one of my favourite scorelines, actually, because you score 3 goals. It's been convincing. You've had a setback. For Burton, straight in. Again, I think that because the teams above them are slowly closing the gap, I think it's anywhere from Northampton. It's a 6-team league, this. And Northampton are 5 clear of the bottom 4 and 7 clear of Burton. They've got 15 games. Can they get 22 points? They've got to start winning games of football. They've drawn 11. And unfortunately, that's the most draws up to Blackpool in 11th. And, the most draws in the division bar Blackpool. And it's as simple as that. They dropped too many points from winning positions or drawing positions. It must be over 20 now, points dropped.
It is, yeah.
Frustrating.
Yeah, incredibly frustrating for Burton because they had that little bit of a bit of life sparked into them, didn't they, at the end of January, where they went and they won a couple of games, and all of a sudden they're the team with momentum, and then ever since then, a couple of defeats and a heavy defeat, but a resounding defeat yesterday. It now puts the mindset back in. Well, we're almost back exactly where we started. I thought they were quite tepid. I didn't think they posed Bristol Rovers particularly many problems. Obviously, what we should mention, Ben, is obviously the reports, weren't there, of racial abuse towards Godwin Maleef, which obviously is not acceptable. So we hope that gets dealt with appropriately, because no one should ever be shouted out or spoken to like that on a pitch of. Not just on a football pitch, Ben, but in any walk of life. So hopefully the person the person
too much of it. Preston Burnley yesterday.
Correct. Yeah. Hopefully whoever it was that did it gets exactly what's coming to them, and that should be a lengthy ban from football. But Bristol Rovers positive. Memory, like you say, Ben, is becoming a difficult place to go to now. Some good performances over there. Calderon's, I think he's just stripped them back to basics a little bit. They now look difficult to beat. They get the ball quickly into Chris Martin, play around, and when you've got the likes of Luke Thomas, Isaac Hutchinson, Rule Satoru, Scott Sinclair buzzing around, Chris Martin, you've got a real good chance of picking up second balls and harming them, because this Bristol Rovers team, Ben, don't forget, a lot of people sort of back them as dark horses for the playoffs. They have got quality in the squad. It was just they're underperforming under a manager that wasn't getting the best out of the group. And now you've got a manager that comes in and perhaps is a little bit more arm around the shoulder than Matt Taylor ever was. And all of a sudden you've seen an uptick in performances. And I'm not surprised really, because the modern day footballer just loves having their ego stroked, and that's what I feel like this Bristol Rovers team absolutely had. For Burton, obviously, disappointing to get yourself back in it with 8 minutes to go. You think that would be a decent point away at Bristol Rovers, even though we've not won the game, to draw and make sure we won't lose it, to not lose any ground. But the quality in this squad, Ben, from Bristol Rovers just took the game away from them. There's some poor performances by all accounts from a Burton Albion point of view. Didn't sound like JJ had his best game. Charlie Webster, though, was one of the bright sparks, but I think they've got Stevenage on Tuesday, and then they come to Lincoln on Saturday. So they've got some real season-defining games. If they can go and get 4 points from those two away games, all of a sudden we're talking about Burton Albion being well and truly back amongst it. But they just feel like they're in a bit of a dip at the moment.
I agree with that. And what you said about Calderon, I think that he's got a bit of, is it Muslik at Plymouth that's gone in there? Yeah. He seems to have a bit of aura about him, a bit of a personality. You sit up and you think, yeah. And it's not just like a different language. It's not just something new. Matt Taylor was very much like Mike Williamson. And when you're in a relegation scrap, You don't want to be listening to, yeah, come on, guys, yeah. I've been in plenty of uni lectures over the years and briefings over the years. And when it's like that, I'm like, you don't take it in. And you out to the pitch, you got tired, you got flat. You want to, right, go in, listen, and be engaged. And when you're engaged, you get the best out of it. You go onto the pitch, you take it in and you learn. And footballers are very much like they need to be motivated. Again, the egos need to be stroked. You bang on there, and yeah, it's a great victory. Gary Bowyer's a bit lower tone, but he knows how to. I think Gary Bowyer, media-wise, and Gary Bowyer as a coach, are very different people. You can see little differences in that. I think David probably already done it, but I'd go back to watch the Salford City documentary on Gary Bowyer's manager. He's probably already done it. And just go and see how he acts, and I think he'll be fine. I think that Burton Albion should appoint him next year as manager. I think that he's done enough. I think there's been one thing I'll say about Gary Bowyer though, and I don't want to get stick for this. I don't think he's had any pressure. Burton Albion, when they appointed Gary Bowyer, they thought, we're done, we're down. Charlie Adam was the same last year at Fleetwood in January. Charlie Adam tells people he came in 12 points adrift, he came in 5 points adrift. We were already relegated. We went 12 points adrift a couple of weeks later. But when his job really started, I get that he thinks, right, we're 12 points adrift when he got his players in. There was no pressure on Charlie till the end of the year. No one was really, everyone thought we're down. And we got a few wins, we got a few points. It was better next season in League Two. If Burton Albion is still in this form and the mid-table like Fleetwood, the performances are still, there'll be questions asked because then he's brought players in of his own. He's had a longer period. He starts the season. That's all I will say about Burton. I think that Gary Bowler's the right manager, but next year's a new expectation and there's different expectations. Exactly. There wasn't any pressure because we looked done, but Adam gave us belief. That's why, I felt everything that Dave was going through because we looked the exact same. Similar club bases, similar fan base. Probably their budget was bigger than ours this year, but in previous years, our budget has been quite large compared to Burton Albion. So, yeah, I hope Burton Albion sort themselves out. Next game,
Burton didn't go and spend 500 grand on 2 strikers there, did they?
But we sold them on. We made.
I'm only trying to wind you up, Ben.
We made 350 back on them, and we stayed in the division. Can I also just say, you can wind me up all you want. Fleetwood have sold £3 million worth of players in the last 18 months, but apparently we're Moneybags FC. Sold £3 million worth of players. Promise went for. By the way, you know how much we got for Asamoah from Wigan? 300 grand apparently. 300 grand for Asamoah. Unfortunately, the paycheck didn't quite come for Brendan in January, though.
Right, come on.
They can have.
Where are we going next, Ben?
Because the Royals.
Yeah.
Did you see Steve Evans' comments? Reading 2, Rotherham 1.
Yes, he said Hunty's got away with one.
He's won the lottery tonight, and someone put. The day that I see that Steve Evans says they've won the game fair and square, I'm done with football. Reading are unbeaten in their last 19 home league games against the Millers, winning 14, drawing 5, keeping 10 clean sheets across that time. Since a 3-0 defeat since May 1977. And Reading have lost just one of their last 11 league games against United clubs. That came against Rotherham earlier this season. Reading with a late goal that keeps them alive in a playoff race up to 9th. Their 14th victory of the season, 49 points. They're unbeaten in 4 after back-to-back defeats. A point off the playoffs, 3 off Huddersfield, whereas Rotherham are as mid-table as Lincoln.
Oh, they're a little bit more mid-table than we are, mate.
I'm not being funny, mate. You're 13th. You were 12th before the game yesterday. You can't get any more mid-table than 12th.
Oh, God, we're in the lower half. God,
you're 14th on PPG.
Eh?
I think you're 14th on PPG.
Oh, yeah. It's a good job the PPG doesn't decide the game, isn't it?
Yeah, Mansfield. No, you're 13th. Mansfield are very... You will be 15th.
As long as we finish above Stevenage, I'm not bothered where we finish. Yeah,
Jake.
Well, the thing is, you'll both end up in League Two, so there's your point. You spend money, you end up in League Two. There's your prosper. Yeah, I think Reading got away with one, didn't they? Because it was an offside for a goal that Rotherham scored, Have you seen it, Ben?
Yes, I've watched. No, have I? I don't know.
I saw the clip on Twitter.
I've seen the highlights of that as
I
well.
don't think it was offside whatsoever. Yeah, it's a tough one for Rotherham to take, no doubt. But for Reading, that home form, again, we've spoken about it so many times on this show. So commendable at home, and Hunt as I think Hunt's done a better job than a lot of people thought. I think a lot of people, when Ruben Sellers left the club, that Reading would just automatically drop off. But to be where they are in the table, Ben, ninth, but just a point outside the playoffs. Yes, they played a game more than Leyton Orient, but they're still in with a shot of finishing the top six. And Noel Hunt's done a particularly good job. Yeah, I mean, you get a penalty in the 94th minute, whether it's jammy, whether it's lucky, it doesn't matter. It's winding Steve Evans up, and that's exactly what we love to see, isn't it? You've muted yourself, Ben.
Someone sent me a video that I needed to open on League One Live, apparently, about a stat that they want me to put in that. It's already been done. Don't worry about it.
Who's that?
Birmingham. Hello. How are we? I made you wait today. Because you will go when I put you first. Wasn't that a classic? But Birmingham win the game. Birmingham are now unbeaten in their last 15 matches and Charlton's second defeat in their last 14 matches. Before the Addicts won 5 of the previous 6. Birmingham City's home record since the 10th of April 2024. They played 17 games at home. They've won 14. They've drawn 3. They've kept 11 clean sheets, scored 31 goals, and 130 minutes they spent losing this season at home. They made it an absolute hard place to go, a fortress. Nobody wants to go there as well.
I do. I want to go.
Well,
are you coming with me?
I want to get to Birmingham desperately. I do. I really do. Birmingham win their 21st time this season and won 12 games at this season as well during the other 3. Great victory for them as well. Top of the table. Another victory. Jay Stansfield scores again. He's a league top goal scorer. He becomes actually the first player for Birmingham City to score in 3 consecutive league home games since the Uke a few years ago. Great from him. His goal was phenomenal as well. Just, the way he runs at the defence, shot off, great strike. How hasn't he had a penalty for that? The ball outside. Have you seen it?
Yes. It wouldn't be a penalty, it'd be a free kick.
It was out. It was in the box.
No, if it's in the box, then it's not a red card, is it?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, yeah. It was outside the box. And
so it's a free kick and a red card.
Yeah.
So that's how they've not had a penalty.
Yeah, but ours not a free kick.
There we go. We got there.
Yeah. How's it not a red card? Sorry.
How's it not a red card?
I said to you, and I said to everyone, Jay Stansfield was a bargain because the fee overall was ludicrous. They're in League One, but he'll get promoted, so he'll win the money back that way. And next year, he's a top quality championship striker. If Birmingham City, this will sound ludicrous, we're in the championship next year, and they tried to buy Jay Stansfield, you could add £6 million onto what he's worth. They got him that cheap because Birmingham City are in League One. Does that make sense? Because if a championship club comes in, they have to pay. They think, well, you've got more money. Whereas League One, you think, do you know what I mean? He'd probably be on more money than he would be if he was to play in the championship because you've got to tempt a player to come and play League One. But look, he loves Birmingham and they love him.
They're not paying League One wages, Ben. Don't be daft.
I don't care what anyone says. People go, oh, money. You've got to win games of football. They play a simple
saying he'd be earning
100%. But again, they've been a breath of fresh air to this division.
Yeah, of course they have.
A breath of fresh air to Cods Vlogs TV. Thank you so much, boys.
You might as well.
Subscribe, like, and Birmingham City content will stay next season on my TikTok. Thank you very much. Up the Blues. Oh, sorry. Unlucky Charlton on your defeat.
Yeah, you like teams in blue, don't you, Ben? Wigan, Portsmouth last year. Now Birmingham. Well, you just like it, eh?
The numbers are going up. Blues.
The numbers are going up. Birmingham are hit. Yeah, I thought yesterday they probably should have won by more than 1 goal. But I think you have to give a lot of credit to Charlton for limiting it to just 1. I mean, this is a Birmingham team that went and romped Cambridge by 4-0 midweek. and have threatened to do it to so many teams, in this division, no matter where they are. So I think you have to give a little bit of credit to Charlton to keep them out for as long as they did. Well, not as long as they did, but only to concede one is quite some feet away at Birmingham, because it's a pretty tough place to go, isn't it? Lose 2 games all season, 69 points from 29 games. I mean, I don't know what the PPG is on that, Ben. What's that, like 2.4?
You're on for 109 points.
I mean, I've got to go. When are we going? We go in March, so I'm not. That could be a cricket score at this point, but yeah, they're a class outfit, aren't they? They've got it right. The recruitment on the pitch was outstanding. They've just got everything right. The head coach was the right sort of person to build a philosophy and a style of players to what they want to do. They've got options. I mean, again, we spoke about the bench with Wrexham and Stockport, but look at that bench yesterday for Birmingham: Scott Wright, Alfie May, Luke Harris, Grant Hanley, Lyndon Dykes, and Christian Bielik. Like, that's an outstanding bench. They're an outstanding football team. They win a lot of games. And the good thing about this Birmingham team is they can be in second gear and still outclass a team that were in the playoffs at the start of the day. That's how good Birmingham City are, and that is. Go on.
They are a league above, aren't they? As well.
They're probably a league and a half above. To be honest.
Yeah, they are. One thing I will say on them as well, when Alfie May's coming off the bench, 5 minutes to play, says everything you need to know. And you mentioned that as well. I think that, what are we now? 30 hours after the game started yesterday, 28 hours after it finished. I think Iwata may still be out there. You might need to just go and tell him the game's done. You can stop running now, boy. Stop running. Honestly, he just loves the hard yards. He just loves tackling. He loves defending. He loves driving forward. He loves having the ball. Peake as well, 50th appearance yesterday for the Blues as well. It's grown game by game. Best thing that's ever happened to the football club for a long, long while. The owners coming in first of all, a relegation, chance to reset, win games of football, enjoy watching your team again, explore new places, explore new grounds. It's different for them because, look, going to these big grounds every week is nice, but all of a sudden you come down, you win lots of games of football, and you get, as a ground up, you take new grounds off. You kind of experience football in a different way. You go to grounder's favourite as well. That's what Fleetwood do. We're just doing the 92. That's all we're doing. But we've gone down.
How did that go in Bromley?
This season going down, right? I always talk about relegations. They're not always sunshine and rainbows. I've hated this year. I've not enjoyed doing the vlogs this year. I've not enjoyed doing League 2 content. It's my head's been up my backside, I'll be honest with you, because I love this division so much. And genuinely, I don't watch League 2 highlights as much as League 1. And you can get like that. But Birmingham have come down here and enticed it and loved it. And they've won games of football and deservedly sit top of the tree.
And we've got 3 games to go. We've been here now. We've been here 75
Yeah, minutes. But they're not good games. So we can fly through these.
Yeah, but
oh, God.
Let's just leave Cambridge till the end, shall we?
Shall we? Should we come back to them?
Leave Cambridge to the end.
Yeah. Stevenage won. Peterborough won. Peterborough haven't won away in the last 12. Lost 10. Drew 2. Mothersill provided 6th assist of the season. Only Ryan Barnett, Corey O'Keefe and Dale Taylor have got more assists than the Peterborough man. Point apiece. Great goal from Kean Hayes. Stevenage dropped points in that we want to finish above Lincoln Trophy. Stevenage are bang on mid-table. Peterborough a point close to safety, with big games coming up at, away at Wrexham and Huddersfield. Oh, tough games.
I'm going to use some analysis that is brought to you by my good friend, Mr. Reese Hawkins, from the famous 4-0 written all over.
There's not copyright, is it?
No, it's not copyright, no. Don't worry. And it's only Tom. Tom won't do anything.
Yeah.
There were 2 goals in the game, 1 for each team. It was a draw. There you are. There's my Reece Hawkins style analysis. 1-1.
There we are. You can tell Jake's getting fed up when he started the show. 10 minutes of detailed analysis about each player, where he was positioning towards the end. I said yesterday, right, in my vlog, I went, at halftime, genuinely, 30 seconds later, they scored. I went, this game's either going to be won by 1 goal, and it's going to be either a set play, a mistake, the ball just flicking off someone, and it won't be a very nice goal, right? And then I kept using, it could be this, and then I just went, it's game's going to be decided whoever scores the most goals. I thought 30 seconds later, Michael Cheek puts one in the onion bag. Crawley won, Wycombe won. Wycombe Wanderers have just won one of their last 6 league games. Their sides have been 30 points behind them before kickoff, drawing 3, losing 1. Drawing with Cambridge earlier this month, despite them being a 37-point gap that month as well, in that game as well. Only Birmingham City with 20 have picked up more points from losing positions than Wycombe Wanderers have, again, gone on to pick up more points. This goes to show you, Wycombe and Birmingham are in the top 2. They picked up most points from losing positions. Portsmouth did it last year, didn't they? In late goals, I mean, for them. Burton, they're down there. They dropped 20 points from losing positions. You take 20 points off Birmingham City, they're probably still fucking top of the league. They're still 40. They're still just outside the playoffs.
Still be above.
That's ridiculous, isn't it? Take 20 points off Birmingham. They're a point outside the playoffs. Ridiculous. And they'd be 9 off automatic promotion because obviously Wrexham would go in there. And then you had 20 on to Burton Albion. They'd be 4 points off the playoffs. How important is coming back from behind?
Very, depending on what you're doing it in. Yeah. Again, Ben, I mean, I will make no qualms. I have not seen this game. I did not look at this one. But on the face of it, it's a better point for Crawley than it is for Wycombe, given that Wrexham, Huddersfield and Stockport all won, as well as Birmingham, but they win every week, so that's fine. I don't think Wycombe's races with Birmingham. Whereas Crawley, it was really important for them to take a point, really, because you got Burton losing, obviously Northampton lost, Shrewsbury lost. It feels like a good point. And now you look at the table, and all of a sudden, Crawley, that team with a game in hand, and if they win it, I mean, admittedly, they've got to win it 9-0 to get out, but they could be level on points with Peterborough. So mentally, that's so big. And the performance that they made against Stevenage, we talked about it earlier in the week, why that was such a big deal for them confidence-wise. And they'll realise that if they can play like that every week at home, they stand a chance because they've still got to play the teams in and around them, Ben. So they give themselves every chance to get up. But yeah, a really good point because this Wycombe team have been pretty good on the road statistically so far this season as well.
Right, last game. Here we go. The one you've all been waiting for. I thought, right, I'll put an hour and an hour and 18. Oh, we've had a managerial casualty. It's been one we've been expecting. We'll go to the game quickly. Before this one, Exeter, after the 10th league game of the season, we're 4th in League One with 19 points, winning 6, drawing 1, losing 3 from there. From their 11th game of the season, 22nd of October, they ranked bottom for points won in League One with 13, winning 3, drawing 4, losing 12. Again, great victory for the Grecians, but for Cambridge, it's another defeat. And a defeat that saw Gary Monk. I'm going to come
Mark Harris.
Listen to me. Gary Monk relieved him.
The striker for Oxford United. What was he doing at Cambridge yesterday? Was he not playing against Portsmouth?
Mate, I've had 6 hours of sleep in the last 2 days. I've run 28K.
Your 2,300 word notes now mean absolutely nothing because you just called the Cambridge manager Mark Harris.
No, listen to me. So, and not even Neil Harris, is it? Come on. Gary Monk was relieved of his duty. He won 9 of his 49 matches there, winning 8 games this season. Just 2 wins in 19 and 1 win in 14. That came, I think, recently as well at home. Again, decided by the odd goal. Poor to watch. They're 8 points adrift. They're on their 4th manager in the space of 15 months. Again, recruitment was poor in the summer. I think they're all but gone.
Yeah, I think this is something that's come a little bit too late. Obviously, they got rid of their director of football, didn't they? Ben Strang earlier in the week. So you could tell that something wasn't quite right at Cambridge, and they were one poor performance away from the sacking of Gary Monk. I mean, to win, what did he win, Ben? 9 in 48, 9 in 49 is not good enough. Over the course of the season, that would see you relegated. Yeah, I don't know. I watched this game yesterday in its entirety. I thought that Cambridge were really poor. They didn't have a lot going forward. They play a lot through Josh Stokes, and if Josh Stokes can't dribble past the entire opposition and stick it top corner, then Cambridge United are struggling. And yesterday they did so. I can't say Exeter were much better because they weren't. There was a lot of play in the middle of the park. It was very stop-start. The referee, Carl Brook, didn't allow the game to get off the mark, really. But the one piece of quality comes from the cross in. It was a free kick won by Dimitri Mitchell, a great cross to the far post. And Josh McGuinness, who scored 2 goals in midweek, obviously against Premier League Nottingham Forest, adds to his tally, so it's a good week for him. Lovely header, back across the goalkeeper. Bishop was stranded. And it's a really important 3 points because Exeter, we said, were on a real slide, weren't they, before this game? And to go away and win at a team down the bottom, it was really, really important. So, yeah, great
fixture for them.
You what?
I think it was a perfect fixture for them at the right time.
It felt like it, didn't it?
I think we've got to run now. Yeah,
not that any game in League One is a gimme, because I don't think it is. But
to go away, Nothing.
I think I can make an educated guess as to what you just said, and I'm gonna hit you next time I see you.
Love you.
Yeah, I bet you do. Yeah. We'll see you next time, shall we? It felt like that, and because, like I say, Cambridge were only one poor performance and poor result from sacking the manager. Who do you think goes in, Ben? Because I know we've had this. Have we had this chat already?
Yeah.
My mate Dino's got to be in for it, hasn't
he? Yeah, I think Dino Marmria. Now, Dino Marmria, we've had this chat. I know this is very rich coming from someone like me, who, if you ever meet me, I'm probably the most intense person you will ever meet in terms of now that
that's true.
Things are for me that, like, look at Gary Neville a little bit like that. Everything's got to be done to a certain standard, and like I've got to be constantly doing stuff, and like sometimes like I've got to be holding a pen. I'm like when I'm doing stuff just so I have some control, and everything's got to be done to attack. Dino Marmria reminds me of that. He's very intense, and over a short burst, it's brilliant. You can deal with it. Over long term, this is why. Again, we go back to the start of the show. You struggle with him, and I think that it wears off a little bit. Energy goes, and you're just like a bit relaxed. You know what I mean? You can't deal with it 24/7. I think over a 15-game period is too short. 25-game maybe, and less points adrift. I think that he wanted to get away from being a firefighter. I don't think he's going to get a job where he walks in with a great budget in League One and League Two. I just don't think he will. He has tried to improve as a manager in the last 18 months since leaving Burton. And that seems very short. It seems like he's been out of a job 5 minutes. He's been out of a job 18 months now. Was it October, November time last year? So he took 15, 18 months at the end of the year. I think you've got to look at Neil Harris potentially as one.
Mark.
Would be one. Lee Johnson lived in the vacation of Cambridge. I think that I don't think he'll throw his name at it because he'll think he's better than Cambridge. He's that type of person. Mike Williamson, I would go absolutely nowhere near because he's not that style of play. Again, I think that you could give the job to Jesus on a cross and he won't perform a miracle. Do you know what I mean? It's like, he can do a lot of things, but I don't think he can say.
Yeah, Tom said Matt Taylor, maybe. But Matt Taylor threw himself in at Bristol Rovers when he got just sacked from Rotherham. I don't think he'd throw himself into a third job.
For me, one thing I will say, right, and I got called weird for this. When Lee Johnson got appointed at Fleetwood, it was 3 weeks after he got sacked at Hibs. And I said at the time, I remember this, I went, I'm not a massive fan of getting managers that have just recently been sacked because it's a bit like you've been in a long-term relationship or a relationship with someone that you loved and you split up and you go and you split up and it doesn't end it just ends because of natural causes. And then you go and you get in a relationship a couple of weeks later it's never right because you're not fully over someone. You need to heal. In football, you need to realise what you did right, what you did wrong, take time out of the game, reflect.
What about John Brady?
Yeah, I think he's been out the job long. I'm not talking. I'm talking a couple of months. I just think
John Brady would be a good fit at Cambridge, I think.
Out the job, have a break. John Brady was in a job at a long time as well, and I think that he's done very well.
I feel like he might be someone to take the job.
I am. You know something, Kershaw? They say either be right or be happy. I'm quite frankly never happy, but no, I'm not. I'm never happy.
Especially going on away days with Jack Kershaw. I can't blame you for not being happy.
Well, I was on my own yesterday, mate.
Shall we look at some predictions, Ben?
Mate, I spent it on my own and not with Brendan. However, we had a nice session last night.
You and Brendan?
Yeah, we had a talk. We had a little chat last night.
I thought you said something else.
Shut up.
Should we talk predictions, Ben?
Talk predictions to me.
Right. So midweek, last week, obviously we didn't do them because we thought we'd do a big episode today. So Ben got 6 points and I got 6 points. Ben got the right score for Birmingham. And he sent me a Snapchat straight away. I got the right score for Bristol Rovers versus Stockport, 1 each. So that was 6-6 this weekend. Midweek. And then Ben this weekend, solid score, 8 points. Good, respectable score. Correct score in the form of Stockport Wigan's winner, Wigan's defeat to Stockport. I think that was the only correct one you got. But you got the Northampton Wrexham result right. Same for Birmingham, obviously. Same for Reading. Same for Orient. Do you know how many points I got this week? Have I told you?
Yes, you've told me. You unbearable little.
I got 16 this week. I got 4 correct scores.
So that is a great number for predictions.
Yes. I got the Northampton Wrexham score right.
Predictions.
I got the Cambridge. Shut up, man. I got the Cambridge Exeter score right. I got the Barnsley Huddersfield score right, and I also got the Stevenage Peterborough score right. So the scores as it stands, the scores on Tuesday, Ben, the gap was 11 points. The gap is now down to 3. Ben is on 253, and I'm on 250. Now we have it's
close.
It's close. Now it's the same as last week, where we have a reduced allocation of fixtures midweek, where I go first, and then a full allocation of fixtures on the Saturday for when Ben goes first. So if I don't win,
tell you what, no. Let's do it.
No, it's fine. No, I don't want it. No,
you do the first 8 and I'll do the last 9.
No, I don't want it. I don't want it because I did well when you went first last time. So I'm going to continue. We're going to continue the way in which we're going. Is that right with you?
Yeah, that's fine.
Good lad. Right.
Play along at home and also like and subscribe. We are now 53 away from 16,500 subscribers.
Cool, Ben. So Tuesday night sees a really good game actually at the racecourse as Wrexham host Leyton Orient.
Watching Leyton Orient. Oh, should I?
Don't nick mine. Please don't nick my
Wrexham 1, Leyton Orient 2.
Oh, really? I've gone Wrexham 1, Orient 0. Stevenage versus Burton. Hold on, this is me first, not you. Look, right, I'm having the weekend. You can do midweek.
No.
Yeah.
No, that's your fault. That you can have the first one of Saturday.
Okay.
No, it doesn't matter because I was always going to. We said opposite scores.
Okay. Stevenage Burton. I'm going to go Stevenage 1, Burton Albion 1.
2-0 Stevenage.
Shrewsbury take on Huddersfield at the Gay Meadow. I'm going to go Shrewsbury Town 1, Huddersfield Town 2.
2-0 Huddersfield.
Wycombe hosting Bristol Rovers. Obviously, they're without Matt Butcher because he's on loan from Wycombe. I'm going to go Wycombe 2, Gas 0.
2-1 Wycombe.
Crawley versus Wigan at Crawley. I'm going to go Crawley 2, Wigan 1.
Crawley 1, Wigan 1. I was going to go for that. Yeah.
And then the local affair, Mansfield versus Lincoln City.
I know my score prediction as well.
Mansfield
You
Town.
write it on here. One.
Mansfield Town 1,
Oh,
Lincoln City 1.
Mansfield Town 0, Lincoln City 1. Without Paulie O'Connor, remember?
Without Paulie O'Connor, yeah. And Ethan Arahan.
Impressed how I know that.
Yeah.
Thanks, Sue.
Parmex, there's no need. There's no need for that. Right, moving on to Saturday then. I'll have the first one for this one because it's only fair. Reading versus Birmingham. I'm going to go Reading. I'm going to go Reading 0, Birmingham City 2.
Exactly my prediction. You
get in. Come on.
No, I reckon they can see. Go on then. I'll go 2-1 Blues.
Okay, Ben, back to you then for a South Yorkshire derby. Rotherham versus Barnsley. Oh. Rotherham strong at home, Barnsley strong away. You know what that means?
1-1.
You little swine. I was completely throwing you off a red herring there. Rotherham 1, Barnsley 2 for me. Right, Ben. Lincoln hosting Burton Albion on Saturday.
Lincoln 1, Burton 2.
Oh, I don't like you. Oh, I don't like you.
You take 3 points this week.
I'm going to go, yeah, but I'd never live it down.
Good.
I'm going to go Lincoln 2, Burton 0. Blackpool Crawley, Ben.
3-0 to the Seasiders.
Do I back them to draw 9 at home on the spin? I do.
Okay.
I don't. Blackpool 2, Crawley 1. They're finally going to win. Huddersfield versus Peterborough, Ben. A return of the opening. Oh, these are all. Oh, no, they're not. Yeah, they are. No, they're not. No, they're not. No, they're not. Barnsley Rotherham was not the opening game of the season, was it?
No, it won't have been. 2-0 Huddersfield.
Yeah. Right. Parmex has got us to lose both games. Right. Parmex, can we ban him, please? Not having that. We should have beaten yesterday.
No, it is because we play Grimsby. There's a few changes.
It's not the return, is it? Right. What do we do? Huddersfield. I'm going to go 3-1 Huddersfield. Bolton versus Leyton Orient is my revenge. Go on.
2-0 Bolton.
Swine. I will go 2-1 Bolton. Cambridge Stockport, Ben. You predict 2-0 Stockport every opportunity. So
Do I?
Yeah, go on.
2-1 Stockport.
I'll take the 2-0 then, since you left it open. Charlton versus Exeter.
2-1 Charlton.
I'm going to go 2-0 Charlton. Northampton versus Bristol Rovers in a big game down the bottom.
1-1.
I'm going to go Cobblers 2, Cobblers 1, Bristol Rovers 0. Wycombe versus Wigan.
2-0 Wycombe.
I'm gonna go 3-0 Wycombe. Shrewsbury versus Stevenage, Ben.
2-1 Shrewsbury.
I'm going to go 2-0 Shrewsbury. I'm very confident with that one. And then Mansfield, Wrexham, Ben, as well.
1-0 Wrexham.
Lovely work. That's on a Sunday.
Is it?
Sunday, 3 o'clock.
Oh, I might watch that.
So, yeah. And then we've got we've got a couple of midweek games next week.
We're not doing them now.
Hey, no, we're not doing them now. There you are.
Thanks so much for watching. An hour and a half.
Questions?
Oh, go get some questions in.
We had some come in.
Oh, we did.
Wait there. I'll deal with it. I'll deal with this.
Good lad.
I'll deal with this.
Good lad.
Do you like white or brown bread?
Kershaw answer this, right?
I'm
Big
brown
question.
bread guy. Me.
Look at you, PT, and all of a sudden you're brown.
No, I've always preferred brown
Don't
bread.
get me wrong, brown bread is okay. But why on a meal deal is it shoved in your face? Why? Why is it always brown bread? It's only like a ham butty, which nobody gets, or a cold bacon sarnie, which is decent, to be fair, but an odd choice. I get it. I don't get it. Why is it all brown bread? Come on, it's healthy. Nah, not for me. No,
Brown
no,
bread's
no.
nice.
It's all right, but I'd rather have white bread. mean-
Is Fergie's time up as well?
Very odd after they got a couple of points recently. I don't think he'll get sacked. I think it will get to the summer because he'll keep squad's too good to go down. I don't think they'll go down. You?
No, I don't think it's time for Fergie to go. And then I've been asked, can Wycombe still get promoted without Bloomfield after now
Yeah.
drawing the last 3?
100%. You know, and they've got momentum behind them. They've got the spirit behind them, and they've got a good squad behind them. They've had 2/3 of a season of a really good period. It's now about dealing with the last 16, 15 games, whatever they've got left, and winning games of football and getting jobs done the hard way. It's a bit like a marathon, a football season. It's 42 kilometres, 46 games, very close to each other. The easy part is winning games early in the year, where not that they don't matter, but because all 3 points matter equivalently the same, you could say. Don't get me wrong, but when you start to see the table shape up, you start to see what you need and what you maybe don't need, to happen at other games. The wins come along harder, like kilometers towards a marathon. As as training at the minute, they come about a bit harder, and it's about getting through that period, mate.
Isn't it? Who's your bottom 4, Ben? Should we both do a top 6 and a bottom 4 right now?
Yeah, can do.
My top 6 in order.
Why do I feel like I'm being interviewed for like a pre-match presser here?
My top 6 in order. Birmingham, top. 15 points. I'm gonna go Wrexham second.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Stockport third. Wycombe fourth. Huddersfield fifth. And Bolton in sixth. That's
I'm going to go for Birmingham City to get 100 and they've got 51 to play for. So they'll get 110 points minimum. I think I'll go for Wycombe then. If you're going to say Wrexham, I'll back the chair, boys. I'll go Wrexham, Stockport, Huddersfield, Bolton Wanderers.
So the top 6 are the same.
Pretty much same or different order.
And then
I think you get 110. So
then your bottom 4.
Oh, don't talk to my mother about that. She'll be on one about. She loves that.
I like Tiger. You go first. You bottom 4.
Tiger bread's good, but it needs to be eaten within.
Not in the bottom 4 though, Ben.
No, it needs to be eaten within that first 2 days. Otherwise, it's good, but it's crusty and it's fresh. But
It's fresh.
When it's just me, it's hard. You know what I mean?
Come on then. Your bottom 4.
Me first.
You first.
Cambridge United.
Yeah.
Crawley.
Yeah.
Burton Albion.
Yeah.
Shrewsbury. I don't like doing that. That's hard.
Do you want mine?
Yeah.
Cambridge United.
Yeah.
Burton Albion.
Yeah.
Crawley Town.
Yeah. Northampton.
No. It's 1 of 3 in it. Northampton. Yeah, Northampton.
You're just saying that to be different, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let us know. Right. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoy it. Will GG be in the sticks, do you think, Jakey?
I hope so. It'd be good to see George back. He's not been. When did he get injured? He got injured in a shoulder injury. And he was in a good bit of form before. So hopefully a clean sheet and a win. Are you playing Tuesday night, Ben?
Yes, Wimbledon at home. Commentary on Tuesday night.
Can you let me know how Ali Smith does, please?
Yes.
He's one of our lads.
On Tuesday, I'll get it in commentary. I'll mention that. I'll try and get you in on commentary when Ali Smith plays. Just
tell him. Just say he's a very cultured midfielder because he is. He's a good player, Ali Smith.
Okay. No. Thanks so much for watching. 100-minute show. That's an hour and 40, Jake. If you're a bit behind.
I thought 100 minutes was 1 hour.
Thanks so much for watching. Drop a like, drop a subscription on your way out. A big welcome to the 20 people that have joined us the channel over the last hour and a half, hour and 40 minutes or so as subscribers. So greatly appreciated. Have a lovely Sunday night. Get Heartbeats on and the dreaded weekend.
Heartbeats finished, mate. It's nearly 10 o'clock.
Thanks for watching.
See you next season, Palmex.